All right, fellas, let me share a life experience with you on how not to be a bitch. And so, let me start with a story, okay? So, at this point, there is a music festival in my city, and I went there yesterday, and I pretty much went there solo. So I've done kind of a solo game, and my thing in these festivals is the first thing is obviously to feel good, to dance. I love dancing, to see some artists, which inspires me because I'm also a musician, and also a super important part is to improve my game, to speak with as many women as humanly possible, and improve my game just in general. And so yesterday I went out there solo, and I learned one of the biggest lessons in my life. Okay, so here's the thing. I got to the festival at like 10 o'clock, and I went to like a concert, which wasn't great, but anyways, it was kind of good. I don't really do this type of stuff during the year, so anyways, it was nice. And after that, I was like, okay, now it's time to like do some party, do some approaching, and it literally took me 2.5 to 3 hours for me to actually build up my nerves to be able to, walk up to women and like open up conversations. And so I literally wasted 2.5 to 3 hours of my life, which I could have invested into, building my business or, producing music. These are my two shits. So, and what I've got to realize is that it wouldn't been solved, or I would have been drowned into shame if I wouldn't be able to like do that approach either. And so after I've done the first approach, from there on it's like it's just like game on. It's like I'm not afraid. I don't care about like rejection. I don't really care about anything at that point. And so what it means is that every single second and every single time that we are spending in fear, it's basically a waste of time. Because I was thinking about it a lot. So it's like, what changed between me actually approaching girls and me waiting and thinking about it? And pretty much nothing. Nothing changed. Like, nor did I start to look better, nor did my verbal skills did improve, nor did my nothing improve. Maybe I was even decreasing because I was getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. Less and less and less energy, and yeah, so this is the greatest lesson, and this is how not to be a bitch. It's like, when you are afraid of something, then you just have to attack that thing, because if you're not attacking that, and if you're not cleaning that thing out, then that thing will grow over you. And so when that thing grows over you, then you will become a proper bitch. It's like you become the type of the crazy dude who's like so afraid of women that he's like terrified of even talking to women and all. There's some crazy stuff, some crazy stuff. Me myself, I also been there, and I never consider myself to be like super bad looking or something, or like some like I was like a normal dude all the time. So it's like I didn't really have like any problems with that or something. But I had this mindset, I had this mind space of like like I'm like so terribly afraid of like talking to women, or like so terribly afraid to do something else. And so if we would like to project this lesson, if you will, so to the other areas of life, then what we'll need to understand is that, again, I don't really want to repeat myself, but every single second that we are spending in fear is waste of time, is waste of energy, is waste of resources. Because, and this is also another, like, fear is like literally the block. Like, fear serves two things. The very first one is that it signals the things that we are supposed to be doing. So if you're afraid of something, then highly likely there is something there that you are actually supposed to be doing. So for example, I'm kind of afraid of that run, or I'm kind of afraid of, asking out those people, or I'm kind of afraid of this or that. Highly likely there is something that you don't really want to face. And so what I'm talking about a lot is that actual self-improvement is not like reading books and meditating and all that stuff. All those things are great, but you can read a shit ton of books, a shit ton amount of books, if you're not willing to sit down with yourself with a pen and a paper, or just with your thoughts, or I don't know what your process might be, and just think through your things, just think through your problems. Okay, so yeah, I'm feeling frustrated because, my money's not right. Or, hey, I'm feeling frustrated because, my relationship life is not good. Or, hey, I'm feeling frustrated because, my sexual life is not, or whatever, right? And so, unless we are sorting those things, then, you can read, 1,000 books, but if you have shit that is not sorted, then you're not really improving because you have something that is blocking you. Just as fear, like at that point, I just knew, like, I have to start approaching women. I could have, sat down there, like, writing poetry or, be there and, talking with my gods. No, I really just had to do one fucking thing. And unless I've done that, I felt like a piece of fucking shit. Because I knew that I have to do that. And this is also like a self-esteem thing, right? So the same thing with business. I know that, like, I'm so terribly afraid many times to make those calls, but I have to make those calls. And so this is how you're developing this mindset of, not being a bitch. And yes, so this is how we go about this. This is how you strengthen your mind. And my goal is also to build a habit out of it. So it's not like, okay, I was acting this way. No, every single time when I have this type of a fear, this type of an insecurity, I'm acting on that. Because I know if I don't or if I wouldn't, I'm just simply putting myself back to a place where I should not be at. So, guys, super simple lesson. When you have something that you're afraid of or you're feeling uncomfortable about it, it signals highly likely that you are supposed to be doing something there. So the longer you're awaiting with that, the more time you will literally be wasting, and the deeper you're digging yourself into a hole that you don't want to dig yourself into. And so, long story short, when you're afraid of something, just go ahead and do that and attack that, because you will have to face that anyways later on. So yeah, this is the lesson. This is how not to be a bitch.